Once upon a time in a small village, there lived a lad named Benjamin. He was known for his carefree spirit and a heart that danced to its own rhythm. Benjamin cared not for the judgments of others or the expectations of society. He lived each day with a twinkle in his eye and a skip in his step. One sunny morning, the village was buzzing with excitement as the news spread of a grand contest to be held in the neighboring town. It was a fierce race, with a handsome reward awaiting the victor. Many villagers flocked to the contest, fueled by the desire to prove themselves and gain recognition. Amidst the crowd, Benjamin strolled leisurely, paying no mind to the fervor around him. Curious glances followed him, perplexed by his lack of ambition. Even his closest friends urged him to join the race, convinced that he possessed the skills to triumph. But Benjamin simply smiled and replied, "Why bother? I have no need to prove anything to anyone." As the day of the contest arrived, the village square was abuzz with anticipation. The participants, dressed in their finest attire, stood at the starting line, eager to display their abilities. The crowd erupted with cheers and applause as the race began, each contender striving to outrun the rest. Meanwhile, Benjamin sat under a shady tree, observing the spectacle with amusement. He watched as the competitors pushed themselves to the limits, fueled by the desire for victory. Their faces were etched with determination, but also with worry and fear of failure. In the end, it was a young lad named Thomas who emerged as the winner, crossing the finish line in a blaze of glory. The crowd erupted in applause, hailing his triumph. Thomas basked in the adulation, his heart swelling with pride. He had achieved what he set out to do, prove his worth. However, as the days passed, Thomas found himself trapped in a prison of expectations. The villagers' admiration became a weight on his shoulders, a burden he couldn't shake. He was expected to be the fastest, the strongest, and the greatest at all times. The pressure mounted, suffocating his spirit and stealing his joy. Meanwhile, Benjamin continued his carefree existence, unfazed by the clamor that surrounded him. He spent his days exploring the countryside, relishing the beauty of nature and embracing the simple pleasures of life. His heart was light, and his mind uncluttered by the weight of others' expectations. One day, fate intervened and brought the paths of Benjamin and Thomas together. They sat on a hilltop, overlooking the village, with the sunset casting a warm glow upon their faces. Thomas looked at Benjamin and sighed, "I won the race, but I feel trapped by everyone's expectations. You, on the other hand, seem so free. How do you do it?" Benjamin chuckled and replied, "My dear friend, I do not carry the burden of others' expectations because I do not care about them. I do not race against the world to prove my worth. Instead, I embrace the beauty of life and find joy in the simple moments. When you stop caring about what others think, you find true freedom." Thomas pondered Benjamin's words, realizing the truth within them. He had become a prisoner of his own desire for validation. In that moment, he made a choice to let go of the need to prove himself to others. From that day forward, he started to live a life guided by his own passions and values, liberated from the weight of others' expectations.